The number one con of Eagle, Idaho, hands down, is it's not affordable. You will not be able to afford Eagle, Idaho.
Oh, come on!
Well, that's what they want you to think. I'll explain in this video a little bit later, but the price to live in Eagle is expensive right now in the Boise area. In this video, we are going to talk about the pros and cons of Eagle, Idaho. It's a hot city where a lot of people want to live when moving to the Boise area. So if you're wondering where Eagle, Idaho is, it's just north of Meridian and sits in between State Street, Highway 55, and Highway 16. So it's in this little pocket. It's not a sprawling city like Meridian or Boise or Nampa. It's very confined, and that's what makes it a little bit more desirable for people to live in. Also, not to mention the topography. But let's jump into the pros and cons of living in that beautiful city. One of the benefits of living in Eagle, Idaho is you're in the foothills. So the accessibility to trails, bike riding, to just, not being in a flat area is really a draw for a lot of people. Not to mention the beautiful mature landscaping, the beautiful mature trees, how green it is, how lush it is. There is a lot of beauty right in Eagle, Idaho that a lot of other parts of the Treasure Valley just don't have. And that's what separates it from a lot of the cities here, is you just have that beauty. So that's what makes living in Eagle, Idaho so great. Not only that, is you have the accessibility, like I mentioned, to Highway 55, which takes you up to the foothills and beyond, into Cascade, into McCall. You're camping up there. There's so much more to do right off of Highway 55. You're not having to commute all the way over across town to Highway 55. Living in Eagle just puts you right there. Not to mention, so sitting in between Highway 55 and Highway 16, you can kind of choose your own adventure, whether you go up Highway 16 to Black Canyon Reservoir, which takes you up to more off-roading, hunting, fishing, hiking, all the outdoor stuff that you're maybe craving and reason why you want to move here. So Highway 16 takes you up there, Highway 55 does the same thing. Living in Eagle, Idaho just puts you right in the middle of it all. If you're considering making a move to the Boise, Idaho area, or Eagle in general, reach out to the Go Idaho team. Send us a message, shoot us a text, give us a call. We want to learn about you and your family and your situation, what's driving you to Idaho, and how we can put a game plan together that's right for you. One of the downsides of living in Eagle, especially the newer part of Eagle, Idaho, is there's just not a real good local sports bar to go watch a football game in. You have to go up into Meridian, or you have to go into Boise. There's just nothing right there in Eagle. Even if you're looking for a local coffee shop in the morning. If you live out in Legacy, which is a newer part of Eagle on the west side of Eagle, you're either going to have to go into your car, drive up to Meridian to find a coffee shop or to get a smoothie, or you're going to have to go in the car and take a ride into the older part of Eagle, Idaho, which is beautiful, but it's still just not as convenient as most people like. And so it is lacking a little bit of commercial for those basic needs without having to go to Star or Meridian or Boise just to catch a game. So if Eagle, Idaho did something like that in that newer section, I think it'd be great. But at the same time, it is kind of nice that you don't have that because there's not as much traffic. It's kind of a bedroom community. So it's a con in that sense, but a pro in another sense. Now, the older part of Eagle does have the mom and pop coffee shop, has that mom and pop restaurant, all those little fun shops to go to and have a morning cup of joe or whatever. They have that in the older part of Eagle, which is, when I say that, it's just off of State Street and Eagle Road. So if you're looking on the map where that is, just down from Floating Feather, they have all that stuff right in there, that downtown. It's so charming. So you do have that. It's just where that newer construction is being built, that newer development section of Eagle, Idaho, just really doesn't have anything other than homes and farms. All right, so speaking of downtown Eagle, I think is so charming. If you are looking for, to kind of step back in time a little bit and just walk up and down to the sidewalks, see some historic buildings without being in downtown, you're gonna love downtown Eagle. They have some great local eateries. They have music going in the summer. They have the farmers market, not to mention Eagle Days all throughout the summer, the parades. If you're looking for that hometown charm, almost like one of those Hallmark movies where big city girl comes to small town boys and they meet at like a flower shop and he's just like, I cannot get my business growing. And she's like, oh, I used to do marketing for this really big firm in New York City. And he's like, oh, that'd be cool marketing. I should probably do that. And they fall in love. That is downtown Eagle. You will love Eagle for that. So maybe you're a big city girl right now and you're looking for that small town boy. Eagle, Idaho is going to be the place for you.
Wow. Just Wow.
But no, it just has so much cool. It's just really charming, really, a lot of character, a lot of history in it. So not to mention all the new construction that they're adding right now. So they are redeveloping downtown. It is going to be amazing. Okay, so one of the downsides of Eagle is it's not for everyone, meaning the housing prices are a little bit more expensive. So if you're on a fixed budget, or you just are price conscious right now with the rates the way they are, Eagle might be a little bit of a stretch for you. The average price in Eagle is around $800,000. So that weeds out a lot of the buyers. One of the cons about living in Eagle, Idaho is the affordability of it. It is an expensive part of town to live in. Average price is around $800,000. Not to say you can't get something in the 4s or 500s. It might not be in that beautiful neighborhood that you saw online. It might be in a different part of Eagle, but you still can get in. It's just going to be expensive. Price per square foot is going to be higher because of the location, and it draws more people. So if you're thinking, man, where's a good spot to go? Maybe I can afford that. Maybe that's not a problem for me. Location, location, location. You buy into Eagle, Idaho, where you have a confined area that growth isn't just going to go bananas, and you put that with a beautiful home, maybe a park-like setting like Lexington Hills or Two Rivers or Legacy, Homestead, any of those neighborhoods, you're going to do very well as far as appreciation goes, time over time. But the downside is it's just expensive. Although the con is expensive to live in there, I got to give it to Eagle for just how beautiful those subdivisions are. I mean, you drive some of these neighborhoods and you really think you're in a park, or you just think you've got lost into some, wooded island, and they just call the neighborhood Island Woods. A major pro for living in Eagle, Idaho is just where you live in Eagle. Meaning any of the neighborhoods that you pick, it's going to be beautiful. They have done such a great job in incorporating the natural landscape, the topography, and designing the homes and neighborhoods around what Eagle already has. So whether you're buying in the older part of Eagle or the brand new part of Eagle, talk about beautiful neighborhoods that you drive through. I mean, some of the neighborhoods that come to mind are Lexington Hills. That is just a beautiful park-like setting neighborhood with big lots, older homes with big lots. You go into Two Rivers and Eagle. That developer is recognized nationally. A lot of developers come to Idaho to see how they did Two Rivers so they can go into their states and kind of replicate the same thing. You look at Legacy and the waterfalls and the golf and the ponds it's just incredible what they've done. And those are just a few that I think off the top of my head. Every neighborhood in Eagle, Idaho is fantastic and beautiful. You won't be disappointed no matter where you are, because you're going to look around and either have a view of the foothills, beautiful trees in your backyard, or you're going to be able to see a bunch of families together walking down to the park or walking their dog, and you're just like, I cannot believe we live here. One of the downsides of living in Eagle, Idaho is just the traffic to get up to, say, the Village here in Meridian. So if you're in Lexington Hills or if you're in Legacy and you wanted to get somewhere, you're going to have to either fight to go up Linder Road, Chinden, and down Eagle Road, or you're going to have to just go all the way down to State Street and come up Eagle Road. And there is a section of Eagle Road that backs up quite a bit, and that's coming southbound on Eagle Road. And right about you get to Chinden, that hill, the traffic can back up. So the downside is to get places. You're going to have highly congested area. The State Street intersection, they've done a great job in remodeling that and adjusting the timers and widening the roads so it doesn't feel as congested as it used to. But you do have to fight the traffic a little bit to get to places. Now, I put a big asterisk by traffic because someone coming from LA, someone coming from the Bay Area, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, dude, are you serious? Because you should have seen where we came from. But here in Idaho, once you kind of get used to it, you're like, oh gosh, I got to wait for this light to turn, so it does kind of back up a little bit. But that's probably the biggest negative right now is living in there, is trying to get to the different shops or restaurants or entertainment, and you just have to drive a little bit further. Speaking of restaurants and shops, we mentioned at the beginning of this video or earlier in this video that you can get your food right down there in downtown Eagle. They have the Albertsons if you need to go to the grocery store, but if you want to get like to Kohl's, or you want to get to what's the big Hobby Lobby, to decorate or stuff like that, you're gonna have to come into Meridian or go to Nampa to find those stores, those bigger box stores. So You just kind of have to plan a little bit. You are pretty darn accessible to any type of food that you can think of right in Eagle. Whether you come up Linder to hit a section of Meridian for your cuisine, or you come up Eagle Road for a different type of cuisine, restaurant and flavor and all that stuff that your palate's craving is really accessible living in Eagle. You don't have to go too far out of the way for a night out. It's really nice to be able to just hop in the car, cruise up there, not during rush hour, grab your meal, either take it to go or sit down and enjoy your evening. So restaurants and food and entertainment, it's right at your fingertips living in Eagle, Idaho. Last but not least, let's talk about schools. For those of you who have children who are going to be attending high school or elementary school or junior high. Eagle is in the West Ada School District. They have great schools. Eagle High is a highly rated school. Eagle Middle is great. And you have the elementary schools plus charter schools right in Eagle. So you have a variety, not to mention the option to homeschool as well. So if you're thinking, where's a good place to, put my kids into school where I'm kind of like getting real education, West Ada School District is great. And the schools in Eagle are great. There's athletic programs are great. If you have kids who are more into the sciences or the mathematics, you can open enroll into a program within West Ada to do something like that. If you have more of someone who is more artsy and kind of like, there's open enrollment to another type of school that caters that. You can also open enroll into what they have is like DTech, which you can get your automotive degree. You can get, you can become a nurse after you graduate. There's so many different programs here for kids. So it's not just the one track you have to go to the school. You can open enroll into other programs as long as there's availability and you're within the district to kind of get your kid the best education for them and what's going to be best for you and your family. So West Ada is a great school district. Eagle High and living in Eagle, you're going to be just fantastically well in those schools. If you're considering making a move to the Boise, Idaho area or Eagle in general, reach out to the Go Idaho team. Send us a message, shoot us a text, give us a call. We want to learn about you and your family and your situation, what's driving you to Idaho, and how we can put a game plan together that's right for you. Hey, so if you want to learn more about Eagle, Idaho, just watch this video here.